We're back at home. We're back in action. NRL Fantasy. We had 3 games yesterday, and I should have stayed in Europe. I was scoring pretty well over there, and that wasn't so great last night, especially kicking it off with selling Sanders Smith, and he comes out and scores a try in the first 10 minutes, and then he plays the game of his life. What an incredible performance, even with the sin bin. 75 in 70, and is just going to make a ton of money now after that. And unfortunately, I did sell him to Savala, who was on 62 and a little down date for him, 5 points, and also Connor Watson. So that was just a delightful little first game of yesterday, and then the Tedesco flurry at the end of the game to go from like 35 to 70 in less than 10 minutes. So yeah, yesterday was tough going fantasy wise, and hopefully this little therapy session, as I always say, works out well for me and for you guys as well that may have had a tough outing as well. But Sandon, incredible efforts from him. If you held on, yeah, you might be able to just keep going all the way through to 12. And that was kind of the play. For myself, it was, go Sandon to Savala so I could make some upgrades in wing fullback, which I did. They, worked out okay at best. Bloody Greg Marzu's right hand. Ugh. Game of inches sometimes, isn't it? But we'll be right. We'll bounce back. Teddy 70, if you jumped on last week for the 20 odd, to get the 70 is an awesome bounce back and was well needed. 46-18 victory. Just be aware, guys, when we're looking at base stats in this game, they're going to be fairly low across the board, given the scoreline, of 64 points in this one. But Savala, a great game from him, got the spoils with that try at the end, kicked a couple of goals when Sandon was out as well with the sin bin. 26 tackles for no misses, absolutely incredible. 58 run meters as well, got the offload, got decent kick meters for the amount of points in this game and the amount of go forward they had as well. So a great score from him. At 230k now, he gets on a run of making cash. So if you didn't buy this week, then next week is a great opportunity as well. And if you bought this week, traded Sandon to him, thank goodness he scored well. Val Holmes 48, Nwangi Tawaze a 48 as well. A really good game for him. Started off in that first half. He picked up 3 line breaks and that try early on. And he was on about 42, 43 at half time and end up at 48. So as a non-owner, I was very happy with how that ended up. As an owner, you'll also be very happy as well with the 48 score, with the cash gains. It was just going to be more around this Roosters team and how many you could fit in. And I do think now with guys like Wong, guys like Watson, guys like Toya struggling a little bit, then having a Teddy or Nwangani Tawaze I think is fine, given you're probably looking to sell those other guys. So he's an interesting guy going forward. Someone to potentially have a look at if he's somewhere around the 500k mark come round 11 or 12, not the worst shout. Couchman 48 in 49 minutes. It was an okay game for him. The minutes with Gula returning, unfortunately he dropped and also Egan dropped. So our 2 players were the guys to suffer a little bit there. But Couch has played massive minutes the previous bunch of weeks. So it made sense that as well that he was going to have a drop. You see that with guys like Payne Haas. We may see it with Terrell May this week. I hope we don't. But, Haas can go 70-70, and then he if they have the opportunity to play him 55, then he will. I think that was the case here. PPM's still really good, near 1, and 48's not the end of the world, given how well he scored. But if you bought this week, you'll be just definitely disappointed that it was a lower minute game. He will be a long-term keeper. So if you bought him now, you've got him for the season. He'll be great through the bye period, so don't stress on that front. Siwa Wong went off early as well, but to have a line break assist, a line break, and a try assist, and only get 40 is very, very concerning. His base stats over the last 3 weeks have been disgusting, and it's really frustrating. I'm very thankful I bought him after the big score, but if you bought him after that, it's been an absolute train wreck with 32 and then, back-to-back 40s basically, or 45 last week into a 40. So not ideal at all. Looking more and more like a sell at the price point that you could sell him near a 50 average. I think it's very nice. People have been asking me about White, Wong, Watson, all these guys. White's the most important guy to hold, given the mid position is very tough and we're going to have to make a bunch of trades in that mids section, whereas the edge is a bit easier. Hooker, with Watson, he's going to make Origin, so it's not doesn't matter with him. per se, but guys like Wong, you could hold for round 12. But if you can get more consistency elsewhere, then great. And that's the problem with the Roosters in recent games, is that the base stats haven't been there. Last week it was, and that's where Watson scored well. The week before that, it wasn't. Yeah, definitely wasn't that week. It wasn't this week. There's been others as well where it's been a bit tough and it hasn't worked out. So that's the issue with him right now, is that those games earlier, it kind of didn't matter too much how the game was played. He either got the odd offload, was able to get some good running meters if they had plenty of ball, and then the other games he was able to tackle a lot. And he hasn't had the 40 plus tackles. The missed tackles are back in action as well. So that's the worry with guys like him going forward. Cookie, 38 for him with 47 minutes, so a bit lower. Blake Steep, what about that run? And then the dummy to Teddy. Yeah, so White, I think he's closer to the hold side, and the good thing with him is when they have the footy, he gets runs of it. 162 meters, didn't have any offloads, only 2 tackle breaks. A game where they dominated the ball in possession. He wasn't going to get his 30-odd tackles, and that's when he hits 50 plus, is when he can get pretty good run meters over 120-ish, and he can go 30 plus in tackles, and there's his 50-odd. That didn't happen this week. I still think he's a clear hold personally, but guys like Watson, guys like Wong, guys like Toya, they could all be sells. For Watson there, the 29 tackles for 3 misses is rough. For him to run 110 meters, he had two... No, he didn't have any other negatives. But to run 110 meters with no tackle breaks, no offloads, no attacking stats is rough. He's closer to the sell mark next week or potentially round 10. Yeah, frustrating. It's very similar with Angus Crichton, 33 for him. Very limited on the attacking stats for a player that can be really dominant on that side of the ball. That was pretty rough. I think you hold Crichton definitely one more week. Watson's a bit of a worry, but they're both in the same boat given they'll play Origin. Whether Crichton's starting or if he's on the bench, one of the two, I think. Egan Butcher, nice return from him, 33 and 28. Dylan Egan, only the 48 minutes. So it looks like it was just a general, change for him. I don't believe he's injured or anything like that. So he was doing really well in the minutes. He was looking on, primed for a 50 like last week. Unfortunately, the 48 minutes, and this gives us a little bit of a worry going forward, and we may now have to look to loop him. Longer term, hopefully he goes back to bigger minutes. If he doesn't, then it might be a short-term rental. If he's around this 48, 50 minutes, on the edge especially, then it's a bit tough. If he's playing through the middle with a little bit of edge like he did in the first few games, then that's where you're going to see the mid-40s in base stats. But again, in this game, when it's not as free-flowing, there's more points scored, then his base is going to be down as well. So that's where the Couchman effort in this one was very impressive with 48 in the 49 for a middle in this game. Guys like Gula, 26 in 43. Gutho, a low one. Rob Toya, the 27, just not getting the attacking stats. Generally, he's been okay, but sometimes when he gets the footy, he just drops it, which is rough. And, he finally gets an opportunity and then he drops it. So it's like, what else can you do there? He's definitely on the closer to the sell list. We've got guys like Lucas in centre. There's plenty of other options. Garrett coming into a slight bit cheaper. We've got heaps of different guys that we'll talk about as we get closer to Origin. And if you need to remove a Rooster, then I think Toya is an easy one to sell. He's made some good cash. Just these tacking stats on that right hand side. It went through Nwangi Tuaze. It didn't go through Toya again, but we've seen that all year. Finau, a lovely length of the field runaway for him. Luciano Leilua played more minutes than Egan in this one, so that's the slightly frustrating one there. All right, we'll leave it there. Let's go to the Waz beating the Knights. The Knights are still terrible. Ponga is still not getting the ball, and when he does, he doesn't even look like breaking a tackle, which is wild compared to how he looked at the start of the year. And this was Aaron Clark's season, to be honest, and a great win for Warriors, clearly in the top 4, having an amazing season. Aaron Clark's season, is it? Watson Aaron Clark looks pretty beautiful right now. And actually, Halasima was, once I saw he was starting, I was like, oh, he sounds like a great buy. I looked at my team, I'm like, I'm already leaving someone out, and just to put it out early, it was Nicholson or Mamzelis, and of course I decided to leave Pistol Pete, the GOAT, out. Against the Storm, I was like, the Storm could blow them out, and he could have a bunch of missed tackles and not really run the footy at all. And then, of course, he gets an offload early. He gets 5 tackles in the first 2 sets and gets an intercept and runs 20 odd meters. And he's on like 20 in 16 minutes. I'm like, you beauty, flying. End up at 54. Not the end of the world. And we're hoping for some Nicholson, upside. But I was looking at my team. I was like, I have to drop one of these guys to take Savala's score. And it would have been nice if we had that the Roosters game afterwards. But anyway, Clark and Halasima, I was looking at, like, I can't even fit them in because I've already got to drop one of these good scorers, like these close to 50-point scorers. So that was the frustrating part. Thankfully, Halasima didn't play a lot of minutes and didn't go like crazy. But Clark is someone I do want on my side now. It looks like he's going to be playing bigger minutes, especially while Fisher Harris is out. But to be honest, he is just playing incredible footy. There's not much else we can say. He looks amazing right now. Running the footy with vigor. He's looking to offload, tackling really well. The energy is there, and that is so important for this side. So I think Clark needs to play good minutes, whether it's 50 or upwards of 65 that we see here. He has earned these minutes, and I think that he should keep them. I don't think we'll see anything under 45 for the near future. And we know his PVM is awesome when he does get good minutes, and he's really showing that now. And I think he's maybe taken a leap with how he's playing. We saw good games from him at Titans, but these last few weeks he's been really, really impressive. So congrats to anyone who did jump on Clark. He's definitely a target for me for that hooking or mid position, which is a position I really need to improve, getting closer to round 12. So around 9, 10, 11, that type of range, potentially even in 12. With those guys I'm looking to sell, like a Watson or one of Cleary or Yo, these types of guys, we'll start to build some guns in that mid and the hooking position. Speaking of guns, Wade Egan, incredible at the moment. 58 average, 72 in this one with a try. He's running the footy as well. Now, the last few weeks really slowed down the running side, but this week was back with a bang, closer to what we saw in the first few games. So he was awesome and is a great option as well for hooker, the way he's playing at the moment with the good minutes and not having like Tomato Martin on the bench is very helpful for him. Metcalf, very, very impressive in this one. He was dealing with cramps for the last 10 or so minutes in his hammies, and he was great. So awesome to see. Kicked for 405 meters as well, 20 tackles, no misses. Not a blemish on this game, really at all. A couple of errors, but yeah, for when the amount of time he had ball in his hands, he did an incredible job. So shout out to Metcalf in this one. Another great win for the Wars. And yeah, we'll see him, Cowboys, we'll see him in Magic Round. Jackson Ford, a little double for him, averaging 48 for the season now. It's going to be hard to buy after that 66 if you were interested. And playing in the middle, but no mid tag. Tough. Pompey, 64, great game from him. What about Jaden Brayley? End up starting 58 in 70 minutes, so a cracking one for him. At that price point, that's an awesome score, and he's a potential option as well, but Crossland could start any moment and minutes could be poor. I've got that whole left-hand side and people having Ponga and Bradman Best and Fletcher Sharp and Greg Marzu, and then it just goes Coggar short ball to Brodie Jones for a try on the left. Lovely. But Fletcher Sharp there, 50 for him. We've got Capewell and Nickel Cookstar, but not fantasy relevant at the moment. A great chase down, try saver on Metcalf. So that was great. People saying Metcalf is slow. Fletcher Sharp is sharp. It's in the name. He's very, very quick. So yeah, tough times on that one for people saying Metcalf is slow. He's decent, but there's levels to this game, right? So for Fletcher Sharp to get 38 in tackling, -2 there, so 36 in tackles is very, very easy to watch, which is great. Defensively, he's awesome. Do not give him the kicking tee, the kicking boot. My goodness, it's pretty average. He banged that one from like 25 out and kicked it well dead. So I understand why he's just a runner, but this team is shocking right now. And Luke has come back in and thankfully got 47 tackles, but for him to get any attack in his side, it's not looking anything like the first few weeks when he was getting those assists and scored a try himself and making line breaks. It just doesn't look like that at all. And I'm glad we bought Fletcher in the end just because he's going to have that base. But this side in general, it's a big worry. And they do come up against some easier sides the next few weeks, but their team is in absolute shambles and they are by far the worst team in the comp right now. With Moses being back, Eagles are way better than this team. And I think they play them in a few weeks. So, yeah, tough times there. Lucas, still a really solid buy. Just got the early mark, I think, with coming back from injury. And yeah, the game was done by that point, that last 5 minutes. He's definitely an option. So is Sharp. Kaipi's Paul, really solid one for him, apart from the 6 missed tackles. Didn't have an offload, just had the 1 tackle break. So a good base stat game, 59 before negatives. But that was the mark on this game for him. Barnett playing lower minutes of 52 shows where Aaron Clark is at, I think, as well. Barnett scoring solidly, but just doesn't feel like a clear option. Just no upside right now. Gagai 43, a really nice line break try assist there for Schiller. And again, all the points on the right-hand side. Already had my Marzu blow up, 40 for him. Did pick up a line break, 6 tackle breaks, and a couple offloads. Running the footy great. He's a menace. You get that try, and it's a 60 game, and you're flying. So a little bit tough, but for them to play that bad, him still get 40, it's sweet. And there's going to be the odd big game. We know we're buying him for the 30 odds, and this was one of those games. And then the big games will come at some point. But I was hoping it was a 60 in this game with that try. But his right hand across over on the line was tough viewing. But again, having Marzu, it's nowhere near as bad as owning Ponga, which I own in Supercoach, and it's it's been an absolute shocking Supercoach week. I think that's what's bringing me down more. The fantasy side of it's just been average at best, and Supercoaches down the toilet. This week, definitely. Thomas Cant with the 38 and 27 minutes was an impressive effort. If he didn't sell this week, the minutes are not there. He'll have to be sold, but he came on with lots of energy. Halasima 37 and 39. Minutes was a bit weird actually for him. So he got taken off for Valmanga in probably 30 minutes down and then came with 10 to go. So a very, very long stint off and a good score and good PPM. He's an absolute menace to tackle. But now that he's going to be up probably a tick over 400k or close to it, it would be hard to buy knowing that the minutes aren't incredible. But if you bought, I think you're happy enough with the score. The minutes is the worry. Bradman Best with the try saver turnover tackle as well. To still only get 34 is very, very frustrating. Just that left-hand side in general. Give Best early ball. Give Marzu early ball. It's a very simple game for them. Well, it should be, but it doesn't look like it at the moment at all. Letua, he had 30 very early as well, and with the line break try assist, changed sides, or he's changed sides for a few weeks now, but 33 for him, pretty average. He's definitely someone we can look at longer term, but I think for them to be in the top 4 and him averaging 29.7 probably means we just avoid all over. And then Ponga's 22 to finish this one off was, 2 goals in the end. I think coming into that first attempt, I think in the 7 games that they'd played, he'd attempted 12. 1.5 a game. Pretty gross. 4 tackles, 3 misses. That's always lovely. 2 errors. A bit of kicking. 126 meters. 2 tackle breaks. No offloads. No attacking stats. It's just getting diabolical right now. And after a 62 and an 82, he's averaging 40.7 now for the season. And it's like a 28 or something. 5-round average. Something ridiculous. Might be lower. I don't even know. It probably is. So he's going to be like 550k after this one. And just getting lower and lower. And can you sell him? Probably, man. Like, he could pop off and you go, yeah, good on ya. Like, if he actually pops off. But it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And he doesn't even look close to breaking out and hitting 40 plus. Like, last week he got 38. I think there was a couple of dirty offloads and whatever else in it. But, yeah, he just doesn't look close to the moment. So he probably is a sell. Probably makes Origin somehow. Makes Origin. But, yeah, it's tough viewing. And the Storm and the Rabbitohs clash. The Rabbitohs really hung in this one and was led by White, and his effort, very, very impressive to watch him go about his business. Scored a couple of tries, good run meters, tackled well. Was very impressed by him. Munster, similar situation. He had an incredible run. He had 32 tackles. That line break with 4 or 5 tackle breaks was awesome. Good to see him back in action there. Did have a couple of errors in there. But 62 was really well needed for those that do still own. I imagine a bunch of people sold as well, which would be frustrating. But you can hold for next week as well, the next couple of weeks, but until Origin, and then probably sell then. Liero 68 and 55, so good to see him back in action. 50 tackles for him is very impressive. Eli Katoa 55. With Aiken, guys, let's just wait until the bye period, I think. And we know that he's gone in the edge position. But wait till they get through their bye and he levels out with his cash as well. Katoa with his 55, a much better game for him across the board. Good run meters especially. Still missing some tackles, still the odd error in his game, but for his hands in the air are very, very impressive. Yeah, someone we'll look at later, I think. Just on and off at the moment. Mamazelis, 54 in the end. Thank goodness he went off as an owner, but a non-player. Rough. Man, he's such a good player, man. 5 missed tackles in the end. I was hoping that he'd be like a high 30s tackle with like 5 misses or something like that, and very limited on the run meters and turnover tackle side. But unfortunately, there are 2 turnover tackles, 1 intercept, 1. I didn't think they gave it to him, but they must have given it to him in updates there, and maybe 1 more missed tackle, I think. But to have tackle break, offload, good run meters, and 2 turnover tackles probably wasn't expected, and I was hoping for like a 40 odd to be fair. So 54, an extra 10 points. Well done for players of him, and I've just loved him all year. He's averaging 49. Very, very incredible. Come on, Matty Nicholson, you can do it. Kolomatangi 52 along with Blore, so pretty solid games, very similar games stats-wise for those two. Stefano is he just bumps people off, He's so strong. Jai Gray, a very impressive game for him. A couple of try-saver turnover tackles, had 2 of them, and a good line break, a good try assist as well. So good work for him at 6, played out I think on the wing at some points in the back end of that game as well. If you did hold on, you take that score. Meany in the centre is a pretty solid game, I thought, on his return, apart from that 1 error at the end. That was gross. Jerome Hughes getting cheaper. Keep an eye on him for round 13. Pappenhausen with that silly challenge. I was like, why are you challenging that? Like, every day of the week, that's a professional foul, and he got away with it as just a penalty, and them going up. They're like, do you want to challenge it? He's like, yeah. Bro, unless you didn't move, 100% that's a professional foul. So that was a stupid mistake and hurt my Supercoach team. But yeah, it would have hurt your team in fantasy as well. For those that do own, he's almost 22% and doesn't have that hair anymore. He went back to closer to natural. 39, Latrell Mitchell's 36, very frustrating game as well. So many kick meters, actually decent run meters, 2 tackle breaks and offload, pretty gross. 2 good goals as well. But yeah, Sin Mins, he's probably going to be suspended for a bunch of weeks as well. That was not good viewing. Like, just you don't have to launch into and absolutely smash Falongo there. You are way bigger than him. You're going to stop him if he doesn't pass the ball, and knowing he's probably going to pass the ball as well, to then still launch like that, it is ill discipline in my opinion, and he will get suspended. And fair enough, unfortunately. Yes, he was slipping. Mitchell's launching shoulder first. A lot of times it's going to go wrong, unfortunately. Sometimes it's a hectic hit, but other times and most of the time it's not at all. So that was tough viewing, and hopefully Sue is okay. He actually had a pretty fun game as well, 34 in 50 minutes for him. Moale, the best pick of the year, 25 in 36. Sullivan, Dotty, 3. He looked okay, to be fair, until that last error. Bentley Harpe is how I've learned to say it. So thank you for that in the comments, and I appreciate that. Anytime I get a name wrong, please let me know in the comments. And I appreciate some of the feedback as well that I had from the last video, the round results one, where I was asking some questions. So thanks for you guys jumping in there. Sometimes I don't have the time to comment back, but I'm always looking at it. Sometimes I don't just have that time to get in there. I'm spending time with the private crew answering their questions. They're paying the money for that. So that's where a lot of that comes in. And hopefully if you are asking questions in there, if I haven't answered it, it's because I've answered it in that video or a separate video. If I do reply back to you, it's usually because it's something that I've forgotten, or it's something completely unrelated to that video, or I haven't said it yet this week. So they're the type of questions I will be answering, definitely on YouTube. But I've usually got it all out there. And the reason why I have the shorter videos or I'll give you the exact format of them, is that you know what you're coming for. Sometimes you get the big long podcasts from people and you just don't know when they're going to talk about the player you want or whatever. Like in that Best Buys video, you had all the Knights guys first, and then I said I went from hooker all the way to wing fullback. So it's all there, and all the relevant guys, the holes in the cells, that's a clear separate video. If you want things on rankings and round results, that's there. If you want my strategy stuff, we talk about it in that specific video as well. So it's all there. It's all in that spot. Good luck today, guys. There's a couple of games there, and then we've got the few tomorrow as well. I look forward to watching them. Started like 5:30, so you got a long day without it. Hope you guys had a good Anzac Day service yesterday, and you enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.